You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, soap opera fans. This is SoapDirt.com, and we have a Days of Our Lives update for you. There's a lot of attention right now on Days of Our Lives about Megan Hathaway, but if you are a newer watcher or you just don't remember her, you might be just like, why is she doing this? What is this about? What's unfolding before us? So we're going to take a look today at who is Megan Hathaway. Now, the first thing to know is that her name is actually Megan Hathaway DiMera. She started on Days of Our Lives back in the 1980s. So if you're a newer watcher, you may have no idea. I was watching in the 80s. I don't remember her. The first memory in my Days of Our Lives kind of mental Rolodex is Patch and Kayla and Bo and Hope, like most people. And Megan is just kind of, I don't know. I guess I knew she was there, but I didn't think about it a lot until she came back. So it was 1984 when Miranda Wilson originated the role of Megan Hathaway, and she stayed in it for a year. But then all of a sudden, as happens in Salem, she is back from the dead, and she was in Beyond Salem Part 2 as the person who was brainwashing and controlling Harris Michaels, another character they resurrected from the 80s, played by Steve Burton. So, and now she's over on what Ron Carlivati calls the Mothership, the main Days of Our Lives that streams on Peacock every day. So Megan had been adopted by a guy named Maxwell Hathaway, and they came together to Salem, but she's actually Stefano DiMera's daughter, and she was also Bo Brady's high school sweetie. You may have picked up on that because she was very clear in the recent lab scenes where she's had Bo. She had him frozen. So really, people in Salem should be saying thank you, because if not for her, Bo would be really dead, but that DiMera mad science has now brought him back. But she has a thing for Bo Brady, and of course Bo Brady has a thing for his fancy face, Hope Williams Brady. So they dated in high school, but it didn't work out because of her mom's interference, and she has been pretty much obsessed with him ever since. Back then, she said that she was pregnant and gave up their child for adoption, and then she was part of the subplot of the Three Prisms. You may have remembered that came up, I don't remember if that was on Beyond Salem or the main Days of Our Lives. I think it was on Beyond Salem. The Prisms, because they were supposed to cure everything, and Stefano had a brain tumor. You might remember Stefano was shot and supposedly killed, and then his last scene, we talked about it recently, Stefano DiMera's last scene was in a jail cell. That episode came out just a few months before Joseph Mascolo died, and then he escaped from prison, and then they just mentioned off screen that he had died of a brain tumor, but Dr. Rolfe, of course, has some embryos that might be siblings of Megan's if he finds somebody to put them in. So she is yet another DiMera. So Bo and Megan went looking for the child that she gave up, but she was lying because she's a lying liar who lies. And she had wanted to steal a baby and then pass that off as her and Bo's kids. But Bo figured it out and then tricked her and manipulated her, and it was just a messy mess. And of course, Bo adores Hope, and Megan wanted her dead as a result. She tried to electrocute Hope in a hot tub, but then she was having it rewired, and she overheard Larry Welch talking about the Three Prisms, and so she decided to go confront him, but she had this other plot in hand where she was messing around with the hot tub. And of course, as happens when you are a villain struggling with someone else, you fall into the hot tub and you get electrocuted. He actually had killed her and then dumped her in, but it was a whole thing. The bottom line was she ended up electrocuting herself in the hot tub, and that put Hope in the spotlight as her possible killer, since they were seen as rivals and everybody knew that Megan was threatened by Bo's relationship with Hope. And then in July of 2022 on Beyond Salem, we find out that Stefano had frozen his dead daughter, Megan Hathaway DiMera, and wanted to keep her her frozen, as the DiMeras do, engaged in mad science, until he could find a way to resurrect her. And in the end, he finally did resurrect her. And this is what brings us to her drama on Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem 2, where she had hired Harris Michaels, who was a decorated Navy officer, to kidnap Patch and John Black. And she was still at this point chasing the prisms, and she thought that they could cure things and that she could bring her dad back to life, implying that he's frozen somewhere, which of course we haven't seen him frozen because the actor is dead. But you'll remember Dr. Rolfe put Stefano's consciousness in Steve Johnson for a while, and he was running around acting like Stefano. And Days of Our Lives is so weird with this stuff. It's so funny. It's so very rare that people who are dead stay dead. It's kind of The Walking Dead around Salem, right? So at one point, Megan had brainwashed Steve and John, and they were chasing the prisms for her. And then we expected to see her use the prisms to bring her dad back from the dead. They had been hinting around about her wanting to bring someone back from the dead, but they were saving it for a big reveal at the end of Beyond Salem 2. And they finally showed the vertical cryogenic tube in the secret DiMera lab. And it was Beau Brady with a bandage around his head because, of course, he died of an aneurysm in the park years ago. And fans were thrilled. So the good with the bad. Megan Hathaway is a villain, and she is yet another child of Stefano. But on the plus side, at least Megan saved Beau's life by sticking him in a freezer for more than a decade. And so now we've got him back. And of course, Beau and Hope are going to have their reunion. The bad news is they've only got a handful of episodes left, and then they are exiting town. But we're going to get more Megan, and we might have Megan all the way through May Sweeps, which kicks off on April 28th, 2023. We'll have to see. She cut a deal with the ISA where if she would tell them who kidnapped Kayla, then she would get shipped back to Salem, which would put her in Statesville for a time period while she's awaiting trial on all these various charges. And also in Statesville is her adoptive sister, Kristen DiMera. And we know they're going to have big scenes coming up. And it looks like the two ladies are going to plot a prison break. Take a quick second to click that subscribe button below so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives updates, spoilers, and fun videos here on Soap Dirt at YouTube. And you have a lot to look forward to because Megan hasn't given up on the idea of Beau, and she is not just going to simply stay put in Statesville. My personal guess is that she asked to go there because Beau could eventually come back to Salem. She might have also asked to go to Statesville so that she could be around her sister Kristen to conspire. And she knows that breaking out of Statesville prison will be a heck of a lot easier than breaking out of an ISA black site, right? So there's a ton more Megan's story to tell, and I'm super excited for all of it to unfold. What do you think?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.